great Flora, Mississippi on this wonderful Thursday. Kingfish, how you doing, man?
Just chilled.
Just chilled?
Just chilled. Long, busy week, so this is my relaxation.
Yeah, that's. I mean, I was kind
of. After this, I can assure you, I'm not skipping leg day today.
That's right.
Right where I'm going.
You're going right to. What gym do you work out at these days?
Crunch.
Okay.
Really good gym.
Yeah. I heard good things about it. I haven't been. It was really nice to come back because I haven't been back in a couple weeks, so I'm here.
And you weren't missed, I can assure you.
I'm sure nobody missed me at all. They're like, we don't like listening to that liberal guy anyway, so it is what it is. It is what it is. But I'm back here to talk about. We're having like a Jackson Jambalaya day, y'all. There's some really Kingfish has got some incredible articles on his website,
or more like a law hour.
It's a law hour because he's got a lot of legal stuff on there, which is kind of right up my alley. And I don't have to talk about Kingfish. I don't have to talk about Donald Trump because I don't feel like talking about him right now.
Ooh.
Because it's all every day is Trump.
And do not mention the E word.
The E word. Wait.
Oh yeah.
Don't say it. No,
I know
what you meant. No. We're not gonna say not the E word. But I mean, I tell you, the 2 weeks that I've taken this break, I've like unplugged from politics for 2 weeks just to see what it'd be like, and it's really wonderful.
You've been pleasant to be around.
Yeah, I've been listening to sports talk, getting ready for the season, football season, college and NFL. And just doing stuff like that. Watching documentaries.
Did you take advantage of that special for a Sunday ticket that YouTube had?
Absolutely.
That $192.
Yep.
I went
paid for it
price
immediately.
The other day. It was like $378. Like, damn, that price I almost should have gotten it.
And y'all, what Kingfish is talking about. So if you have YouTube Premium, which is different than YouTube TV, it's like YouTube without the ads, like you just regular YouTube.
And once you do that, you can't go back to regular YouTube.
You never can. It's
No.
Clay got me addicted when I started the show with him a little over 2 years ago, and it's pretty much. I would say I would cancel every streaming service before I would cancel YouTube Premium.
Yeah.
If they
and the YouTube music comes with it for free also, and that's actually pretty good. What I like about it is I love live performances, okay, and not just in rock music, but also say classical music or jazz. I mean, I can sit there, all those great videos you see of say Miles Davis or Train over the years, or say Rubinstein playing some Rachmaninoff, all that. I mean, you can get all that on YouTube music. You can't. Or say all the concerts, like I love Ghost, but their stuff is on YouTube Music. Their live stuff,
right?
And you don't get all that on the other ones. I've got Apple Music. You don't get the live stuff on there.
No, you don't. You're right. Lindsay and I were playing trivia on YouTube Premium the other night. You can just do a whole like trivia night off of YouTube Premium. I know that sounds ridiculous, but it's kind of fun. Then it didn't
reminds me of Tuesday nights at Hooters.
It didn't work as well initially. So then I ordered Trivial Pursuit actually finally, which is kind of fun, but not really.
I could have let you have mine.
Yeah. See, instead of getting shipped that it's like same day shipment from Amazon for extra, and then you go through it, and it's all like the decade, so you go through it real quickly, and then you already know the answer.
All right, get to the law hour.
I know, I'm getting to it. We're just talking about this stuff anyway. Get YouTube Premium. He's talking about the NFL Sunday Ticket. They had it for a discount. They may do it again, I don't know, but it's worth it because it's like half off.
I don't think they will. It was $192, which is like about half off of what it normally is.
Yeah.
And it was like a 1 or 2 day flash sale too.
It was crazy, but it's great. I can't wait to watch my Dolphins lose.
It's like when the Saints came back after Katrina, their first season tickets they sold, they had like in the uppers for like you could get them for like $144 or something like that. I'm not kidding.
Wow,
yeah,
that's crazy. What Kingfish is talking about, and what we're going to be talking about, is an article on his website that he popped on there on Wednesday, and there's yesterday, it's about this detective in the Brookhaven FedEx shooting case. And now, Kingfish, would you tell the audience what's the Brookhaven? I know what it is. You know what it is.
People are going to remember this case. It made national headlines. You had this young FedEx driver, black guy, and he's delivering packages, doing his job down in neighborhoods of Brookhaven. Now, he was in his FedEx uniform, but when you get out into the rural areas, they don't always have FedEx trucks. He was driving a Hertz rental truck, all right?
Mm-hmm.
And so these two, I'm just going to say what they are. These two rednecks, they decided he didn't belong in their neighborhood, or he might have been acting suspicious, of course. So they got in their truck, and they shot at the truck, and the pictures of the truck, I mean, it was riddled with bullet holes. Okay.
Yeah, I've seen it.
And they chased him all the way to 55. Now, the whole time this is going on, he was actually on the phone with the supervisor, and she's just yelling at him, "Get the hell out of there! Get the hell out of there!" And and of course, media picks this up. I mean, it just goes berserk, and I understand why.
Weren't they chasing him down like Main Street in Brookhaven or
I
something?
don't know.
Close to
I
that?
just know they
forget the road it
chased him
was.
back to the interstate.
Yeah, and
which
I'm pretty familiar
you'd
with
probably
Brookhaven,
have
so.
to go through, Main Street or the main or the or I think 84 or whatever. No, not 84. It's that
No, I know.
that second exit.
I've spent a lot of time in Brookhaven, and like that's right. Yeah,
I'm
there's
sorry.
that. I know, and there's that main road that goes right to the interstate from.
Yeah, I know exactly where you're talking about. Yeah, probably so.
Yeah.
So anyways, they chased him all the way back there, and made the media here in national. I mean, in which when you hear about it, you're like going, "What the hell?" So police do their job. They charged him, arrested him, all that stuff. Grand jury indicts him, and then the fun starts. It goes to trial, and
2022. I looked it up last night.
Yeah, 2022. So the defense says they have the detective on the stand. They say, "Well, what about this video? We don't have." He mentioned a video statement by the
victim,
by the victim, not by another witness, not by the perps, but by the victim, and that's going to be important, because then what happens is, well, we never got it, Judge. We never got it. This is a crucial piece of evidence. We never got it.
Right.
And judge says, you know what? You're right. And so judge wound up declaring a mistrial. And I'm a little surprised because it was David Strong, circuit judge down there, and he covers that in Pike County. And I've been in his court before. He's a pretty good judge, actually. But he said, no, mistrial. And so it never went to the jury. And so then time passes. Remember, you said 2022 or so.
Yes, this is
20.
Well,
or 2023, actually.
2023, yeah.
2020. Okay.
Sorry,
So a long time passes, and the DA does not ask for a second trial.
Well, here's what actually I looked up. So last night I went on MEC.
Yeah.
Right? So Judge Strong declares a mistrial. I believe it was August of 23. A few months later in October, the defense files an actual motion to dismiss the indictment. And he doesn't rule on that till January of this year, January 25th. And in the order, he says that he's dismissing it due to Brady violations and with what's called with prejudice. There's two different things. With prejudice and without prejudice.
And a Brady violation, folks, is when this came up in the Carly Gregg case, okay, which is if you have what's called exculpatory evidence that can help the defendant prove their innocence, you have to provide that evidence to the defense. You cannot withhold it.
Sure.
And usually when a prosecutor pulls that crap, they usually would wind up getting fired because they get in real big trouble with the court. And
like a knife-ong situation.
Yeah,
like
I mean,
in the Duke lacrosse case.
Familiar with that's why Bridget Todd knew exactly what she was trying to get the prosecutor fired in the middle of the case.
Right.
So anyway, that's what happens here is they say Brady violation, but the thing is, it wasn't exculpatory. It was inculpatory, meaning it had
more likely to show guilt.
Yeah, it was more likely to show guilt than it was to erase guilt. So it makes no sense whatsoever. None.
What I thought about is, as many criminal trials that I've handled, and specifically murder trials, the remedy generally is, so in the trial, if they hadn't, let's say they hadn't turned this video statement of the victim, it's not a witness, it's the actual victim statement, then you could have taken like a day recess for them to review it and see if there's anything they needed to.
You could have had it. Well, I do know they had a discovery hearing, but I don't think this came up in it.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many different ways you could have handled that, and I'm sure once they reviewed the victim's statement, it's just going to help the state, not the defense. So I don't know what things they would have to do.
Well, let's say it stays a mistrial. What he could have done was, DA could have asked for a new trial, like Jody did with Polo when that ended in a mistrial, and Beth Ann White. You know,
but those are hung juries, so it's different. Different
situation. True, I hadn't thought of that, but you're right.
So what he could have done is, there's a statute where he could have appealed the case.
Correct.
Because the state doesn't generally have the right of appeal in a crime when there's and there's a limited instances where they do, and one is what's called a motion to quash the indictment. Essentially, what this was.
Right.
And they could have appealed it, but you have 30 days to do that, and they never did. Which is
it makes you it makes you wonder. And I mean, and here's the thing that was so interesting, and you know this yourself. When a police department, doesn't matter where it is in this state, this is standard procedure. This is what they do, is you have a checklist of all the evidence that in your file. So if you have body cam video, I mean, you check that off. If you have affidavits, you check that off. And if you have, say, video of interviews with victims, you check that off. He had his checklist. He checked everything off. Right. And sends the file to the DA. DA had the only copy. Would you believe that the DA, he said, didn't give a copy to the defense? They actually gave the actual file to the defense.
Yeah, I saw that. I read that in the article. Yeah.
What?
I've
But
never
my
seen
point
that
is, though,
before. Like
there is a checklist of everything,
Mhm.
and that DA got the file. He said that detective said everything was in there. Result was, though, this detective got blamed and was crucified, not just locally, but in the national media,
Sure
because
was, yeah.
because nobody bothered to go notice, oh, the guy was from Sri Lanka. He definitely was not a, Hitler Youth white redneck. You know what
No,
I'm
no,
saying?
and he wasn't, and he's been here for what, 44 years already, your uncle?
44 years,
Yeah.
still has the accent, I
Mhm. Like
mean,
my
but
dad, it reminds me of my dad's been
yeah, I
longer than
mean,
that, but yeah.
but he's also been a cop for like 20,
Mhm.
30 years.
Yeah.
He's certified law enforcement. He went through the academy. He's a certified trained detective.
Saw that.
He is an instructor at the training academy in Malota, the state one. I mean, this guy has got,
Credentials up the
credential
wazoo.
exactly. I
Yeah.
mean, they still have him teach some.
And why
And
wouldn't he turn? I mean, it's ridiculous to me.
he
Like,
got, but
why wouldn't he
he
turn
got
over
crucified for this.
Yeah, and obviously he would have. Like, why would you
Yeah.
not? I mean, what would be the advantage of not turning over an inculpatory statement, which is the
Exactly.
victim statement? That wouldn't. It seems like there was the district attorney's office didn't log the file correctly. That happens. I've seen that.
I've
of course,
seen
many
that.
times. Or well, they're just somebody's using this as an excuse to get rid of this case, because I don't see, and it seems like they picked a really weird item of evidence, the victim statement, something that is generally not going to be an exculpatory
There's
thing.
something else here, and I can't figure out what it is.
Me either.
I mean, but there's a something else here.
And then, at that time in 2023, our mutual friend Patrick Beasley was running for that office,
Mhm.
and so the trial was going on. And it was D. Bates, who was a longtime district attorney there,
Correct.
but he was not running again, and it was
Right.
Brendan Adams versus Patrick.
Mhm.
Brendan won. The order actually was entered in.
The dismissal took place after the new DA took office.
Yeah, that's right. So, and then it could have been appealed, and I don't know why that didn't occur based on how egregious this kind of conduct was. It just seems really kind of shocking.
We've caught Brendan Adams not doing his job on other cases. I mean, so
The Faraz case you were talking in your art.
Faraz case, yeah.
And this one was a really high profile thing about this kid that's a FedEx driver. I've seen FedEx drivers. I used to do a lot with e-commerce. They're private people that own those trucks, and they hire drivers. And sometimes they don't have a FedEx labeled truck. That's very common. And they have trucks that is, get a Penske truck or whatever it is. And here's the kids like deliver the package, and these guys go out and start shooting at him, which is it's not even, even if they thought it's still not castle doctrine under any
no, not at all.
Wild imagination that would possibly be that. And it's sad to me that the detective gets crucified and this kid doesn't get any justice for what happened to him. And it just kind of plays into the old Mississippi tropes.
But like the detectives, his attorney said the other day, though, he said they have those two people have one thing in common.
Mm-hmm.
They're not white.
Yeah, that's right. Guy from Sri Lanka and the victim, Mr. Gibson, I believe is his name. Yeah, I think, and these two guys are, born and bred Brookhaven guys. I think both of them are. It's Brandon and Gregory Case are their names, and we're a longtime residents of there.
Brandon's a son.
Yeah, Brandon's son. Patrick and I were talking before if he had won, that was kind of like agenda number one was that case, because it was so important. So him, me, we probably would have done that. So, but unfortunately, that's not what happened. But it's a really interesting article. It's got all the ingredients in Mississippi, race. Stuff that doesn't sound on the level, a lot of things that we deal with in the South here. But right now we're up for our break, but we'll be back on the next segment and turn into the Lindsay.
What's the call-in number?
The call-in number? I don't even know the call-in number.
601-879-0002. If you want to call and harass Shaun, 601-879-0002. And we'll be 0002. And we'll be right back.
Keep it tuned here to 103.9 WYAB.
Nick Bain served Mr.
I guess around here, Kingfish. I guess that's my role now.
You're like the Guido Merkins,
yeah,
or the Taysom Hill.
Right. That's the way I'm going.
Okay, what down is it? We're going to plug you in over here. What down is it now? We're going to plug you in over there. No, do you remember Guido Merkins for the Saints?
Yeah, no.
I mean, he played quarterback, receiver, running back everywhere.
Everywhere you wanted to go with it. So we were talking about the FedEx trial, but we got a lot of trials on the actual list here today, and it's there's two incidents that happened today. Kingfish got on a site. One is the infamous Ridgeland stop that everybody's kind of seen, and we'll get into that. But the first one I want to talk about Lawrence Blackman and the Faye Peterson, and that's because we got a little shorter segment here. You tell everybody what happened there's a murder trial in Hinds County and Faye Peterson. I love Judge Peterson. I'm in her court all the time.
There was a homicide at a strip club 4 years ago, I think it was. And I can't remember the name of it because I don't attend those things, of course. So it went to trial 2 weeks ago. Lawrence Blackman, that is Ed Blackman's son, and Ed Blackman is a very good lawyer. I mean, look, my ass is in a sling. I'd hire him, okay? And I love watching him in the courtroom. But Lawrence, he's young, full of blah blah blah, so he actually got an acquittal. He won. Good job for your client. Did what you're supposed to do. Good job. Of course, he's bragging on his Facebook during the weekend. Look at me. I'm best trial attorney in Mississippi. Okay, buddy. But then he just really ticked off Faye Peterson because he repeatedly just blew her off. He would just act inappropriately in court. One day he shows up nearly an hour late, didn't bother to call, check, nothing, email, nothing. So she fined him for that. So she found him in contempt on 63 counts of contempt. 63. You hear me? 63.
That's I've never heard of that before.
Well, 52 of those counts were because he was 52 minutes late that day. So she fined him $100 for each minute. And you can't do that to a judge.
No.
So she finds him, and he was basically flipping about it. He was mocking it afterwards on Facebook. I mean, he just thought it was kind of funny. Hey, I won, but I got fined, but big deal. Ha, ha, ha. Monday morning rolls around up in Madison County in Dewey Arthur's court. And wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, absolutely. I've known him for a long time. He's a great judge. He was a good prosecutor back in the day. I mean, he was kind of, my era. We're all about the same age.
So he's supposed to be in trial the following. Remember, he got his acquittal on Friday, gets in trouble. Monday, he has a trial scheduled in front of Arthur, and everybody's there. Jury, the defendant, everybody except Blackman is off at a legislative conference over in Texas. Yeah, I don't know, something about Texas, So anyway, Dewey Arthur said, okay, you got to show up in a week from now, and you're going to tell me why I shouldn't throw you in jail or hold you in contempt. And that's what happened this Monday this week. Was he had a hearing for it, and he just said, I lost track of it. Basically said, I lost track of it. And the video of it's on my website. It's only 8 minutes. And so he says, the judge says, look, and by the way, that trial was scheduled in May. So it wasn't like this was like 5 years ago it was scheduled, okay, or 2 years. So judge said, we actually, when we set the trial date, we sent you a notification of that date. You're supposed to log it. I saw your father last week. I told him, because they're in the same firm, and he didn't tell you, So I told him about it. He's in your firm. He's the senior partner of your firm. Then I told them, we sent you an email about it. We notified, he said, we notified you 3 times. He said, and by the way, a year ago, you did the same thing. Didn't show up for a trial then either.
And he had just, like I said, and he just won one in Hinds County.
Yeah. So, I mean, Judge Arthur, he was pretty, he wasn't taking any lip that day. And let me tell you, this was a different Lawrence Blackman. And by the way, Ed did not show up. His father didn't show up there to go to bat for him. Nope. He had to face this medicine all by himself. He was very contrite. He was very, you couldn't pull that crap with Faye that with this guy might throw you in jail for that. You know what I mean?
I don't know. Kingfish, Faye will throw you in jail. Like I didn't see her, but she's like, I just tried a capital murder case and I've known her for years. She is.
Yeah. But I've noticed some of these attorneys, I won't name any names.
Right.
They tend to be of a particular demographic. They seem to get away with a lot more, act a certain way in Hinds County circuit courts than they do in Rankin and Madison.
Well, I don't know. He didn't get away with it with Faye.
I saw it in the Kingston Frazier case. That was where the little boy was murdered.
Sure.
And they would come down here acting, just acting just crazy. In McKinley, for example. I mean, he set one of them. So finally, he just set one of them. So he said, basically it was, we don't act like this up here. Yeah. This is the courtroom. Act like it.
No, I mean, like I said, I've known Judge Peterson for years, back to when she was DA, and I just tried a capital murder case in there a few months ago, and she runs a tight ship. Like,
she does.
I used to unfortunately push Swan Yurga around a little more than I should have. But Judge Peterson ain't gonna let you do that. That's been my experience. I could see why she kind of heard back channel that it was pretty egregious what went on there.
Included a transcript of the whole hearing, like all 13 pages of it, and she wanted everybody to know exactly what happened.
I've read a few of them.
She just, I'd have to get the actual trial transcript, but he basically would make snide remarks to opposing counsel, make snide remarks to the jury. He'd make jokes. I mean, he'd blow when the judge not to do something, he'd blow her off and keep doing it. I mean, that sort of thing.
I heard he was I read one portion, I think it was in your article, about he would make objections to opposing counsel to the state.
Yeah,
and you're not in. For the folks out here, when you're supposed to make objections,
yeah, but you're getting a little bit too much in the weeds for the listeners. Okay,
that's the easiest way I can say it.
You do your talking to the bench and nobody else.
Yeah, you talk to the bench, and he's kind of trying.
I was in court again yesterday, by the way.
Oh, were you? Which court was that?
Well, Dad Cochran's son, believe it or not.
Oh, okay. What's up with that?
Well, he has an ex-wife that he can't leave alone. He just cannot. They were married 20 years. They got 3 kids, and he just can't let it go. He keeps on showing up at her house, getting arrested. He keeps on doing things like. One instance came out yesterday. He sent a suitcase of his clothes to her front door in May. I mean, and just keeps on doing it, and he's been arrested like 3 different times for like contempt for violating a restraining order and stalking and trespassing, and he keeps on doing it. So they had it, and so it was a Madison Municipal Court, and the judge, this man's 57 years old, okay, 57, and he sentenced him. Point out, we have done jail before. We've sent you to Region 8 before. This is not help. So he got 1 year in jail.
Wow.
He sentenced him to 90 days on one, 180 days on one, 180 days on another, 360 on one, and suspended half of them all. But then he made them all consecutive. Oh yeah, he's in jail for a year.
That's a not a good place for you if you get. It's tough.
No, some of these mayors like Phil Fisher would do this. I mean, they're not going to sit there and tell a judge how to rule. I mean, that doesn't happen. Okay, but when they do appoint them, before they appoint them, they tell them what's expected of them, which is, we want to keep the city clean and safe, and I expect you to do that,
Well, actually, I had a case recently with Rick Mitchell, who's one of the Madison municipal judges. I think he's the primary one.
He wasn't there yesterday.
Okay, he runs a really good tight ship there. Good lawyer. He was DA before.
Okay,
Mitchell was.
This guy. Okay, that might have been him.
Yeah, Judge Mitchell. Yeah, he's Rick Mitchell. He's
older guy, gray hair. Okay,
it
was Straightman. Yeah.
And they run a tight ship there. They do a good job. So it's a rougher place because they are pretty stern. Clinton's there too. I mean, most of them,
I said, Phil Fisher, he told me back then. He said he'll say it on the radio. He'll said, I told my judges when I appointed them what I expected back then.
Yeah, Tri-County area are pretty well run. The ones
most of them are.
Yeah, most of them are pretty efficient. So I can see that. But that one thing I was thinking about when you were talking about Thad Cochran's son was that, what I learned over years being a prosecutor now as a criminal defense lawyer is that, like, women will get you in some stuff.
Yeah,
it is. I can't tell you how many people.
She's not worth it.
I can tell you how many people I prosecuted for killing their girlfriend or wife. Like,
and by the way, she wasn't exactly. Some stuff came out about her in trial yesterday. Sad, because like apparently their daughter, who turned 18, I think January, February this year, like sometime last year, she tried to commit suicide. That came out several times. She had a substance problem, and then once both sons testified for the dad, them and their mother didn't speak in court, and the son sat there and called the police on him before she had a problem, or she could, so I mean, but the judge said none of that matters. What matters is, did you go over there? Did you do this? Did you do that? Did you get into it with the police? That's all that matters. And he was representing himself, by the way, because he fired Meredith Coxwell like a week earlier.
Oh, another great attorney, Meredith Coxwell, a good friend of mine. The one lesson that everybody's listening is, guys, especially, Kingfish is right. She's not worth it. I can't tell me how many of y'all I put in jail for a situation like that, and it just happens consistently. And and it's obviously not just for the guys, but for for the women out there too, when they're threatening you or they're physical with you.
Oh, look, there's a great article in The Athletic this week. And by the way, folks, if you like to read sports, The Athletic,
it's great.
It's a great. Now, you do get a New York Times subscription to it, which, despite all the political crap, it's still actually parts of it are worth reading. But The Athletic, you get that, and they had a great article this week on how male athletes being stalked by women.
Really?
All the problems and stuff. I mean,
but we're up against our next break. We will catch you all on the next segment of the Lindsey Beckham Show, but today's the Shaun and Kingfish Show. Be right back. And we're back on formerly the Lindsey Beckham Show. Will be the Lindsey Beckham Show tomorrow, where I think she's having Morgan Charlie on from Women's Wellness, who sponsors this station, and they are great folks over there, as well as Men's Health, who I am a member of, or whatever you call it. It's not like Hair Club for Men, it's something else, but I'm a member of it, and I encourage you all to go out, if you're a guy, to go out to Men's Health, get your testosterone levels checked, as Clay likes to say. It is they do semaglutide treatment. They're a one-stop shop. They're a great organization.
They also do primary care, where you just pay them. It's concierge medicine, where they don't really push that much, but you can pay like a flat fee every month, and you see the doctor as many times as you want. You need a prescription on the weekend. Hell, they got an app. You just text it in. They phone the prescript for you. I mean, you can go there for your primary too. And let me tell you something, because I use them for my primary.
Me too.
And it's nice being able, hey, 8 o'clock at night, I can get a hold of someone there, and they just immediately get that thing. Or, hey, I need to come and see you like right now.
Or like, if you're like, I think I have, this kind of whatever, and can you call this in? And they will.
2 years ago, I had hand, foot, and mouth disease, believe it or not.
Yeah.
And they took me like right there, and they're like, yep, that's what you got. I'm like, oh, shoot, man. And that was not fun either. You do not want that.
No, I know what you're talking about. I had like a nasal infection. I just texted Scott, who's a nurse practitioner there, and I said, this is what I got. He's like, okay, this is what you need, and he just calls it in. It's so much better than having a general physician or practitioner, wherever you go.
And unlike St. Dominic's, I mean, they'll charge you for like certain fee, and then if you don't use that whole fee, well, we'll just keep it on your account and apply as a credit to a future. No,
no, it's
I want my money.
So y'all go check them out. They're over on Fountains Boulevard in Madison, but she'll be on tomorrow with Lindsay.
Call-in number is 601-879-0002. By the way, folks, if you want to call in and argue with us, go ahead.
And I have to remember that one day. And for all these years, I still have not. But
you are a bad host.
I am a bad host. I can never remember the number. We've got another article on Jackson Jambalaya is a story that I think a lot of people had followed at Kingfish about this guy that got pulled over in Ridgeland for a expired tag. And that he put a video of this altercation with the police on social media, and it kind of went viral, and everybody in the metro area saw it.
Let's explain that. Okay, it was back, I think, in May. It was April or May. He got it, and Clear and Ledger covers it, APT, LBT. I mean, they all. And he's But what happened was he got that video through his discovery, for his hearing or trial, and he just kind of spliced a little bit, kind of played with it chronologically a little bit too, and. So the Ridgeland PD, they released all the video, all of it. And you get a slightly different story they're not too far apart, but you still get a slightly different story when you watch the actual video. So I went and covered his hearing 2 weeks ago, his trial. He's found guilty. Ironically, folks, if you don't know what happened, here's what happened. If you go to my site, look Monday, it's a post called Esau, then quote, I'm from the tribe of Judah, unquote.
Kingfish is trying to be cute there, y'all. He's talking about
that's a direct quote from the video.
I know, but so this man Gaddis, I think is his name. Claimed to be what's called a Black Israelite. Is that right?
Black Hebrew Israelite, whatever. Right.
So go ahead. I'm sorry.
He does, and he kept calling the cop Esau to his face. And he'd quote Genesis 25:25, which says Esau wears red, and then he'd say, "I'm Israel, you're Esau." I mean, okay, buddy, sure, all right. Sure. So anyway, he sits there. The cops pull him over, saw an expired tag, and the minute they start talk, first he refuses to roll down his rear window because they just want to see that you got nothing back there or someone else back there.
Officer safety.
Exactly, and he wouldn't do it. And then he immediately just starts arguing with them. And when they try to talk to him, he would just rev it up. I mean, he would just keep on talking over them and blah, 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 blah. And then when they finally would say, dude, just shut up. He said, you're supposed to de-escalate. You're supposed to be professional. It doesn't matter what you said to this guy. Okay. Because that's what he would do.
He was an a-hole.
And finally, they just had enough and said, because on a traffic stop, they can't arrest you.
Yeah, sure.
They don't want to fool with an arrest.
No.
They'll write you a ticket, let you go. But if they want to, they can take you in, which they finally did with this guy.
Yeah.
Now, here's the funny part, folks. This is how you talk yourself into a ticket. Okay, he didn't have proof of insurance, but he did have the tag in the car. He just hadn't put it on yet. So he shows them that. And
his driver's license was valid. I think it was
and his driver's all that stuff, And he was able to show the proof of insurance in court. So he wasn't getting... So he didn't get convicted of those. So he got convicted for?
Possession of marijuana.
Yeah, because after they arrested him, then they searched the car.
They smelled marijuana.
They smelled the weed, then found the weed. Okay.
Yeah.
And that's what he got convicted of. And because he had a concealed gun on him in his pocket, they got the gun enhancement for it. So the guy literally, if he just shut up and just taken the medicine, and instead of trying to prove a point, he would have gotten a ticket for expired tag and no proof of insurance. And then guess what? You go up there and show it to him, dismissed. That's it. There would have been no search of the vehicle. There would have been no arrest.
Nope.
He would never gotten busted on the drugs part. Period.
100%. I mean, I think that's just a lesson in why can't people learn, Kingfish, to just be nice to the cops when they pull you? Just be nice. I've told so many clients that over the years. When I was on the other side as a prosecutor, same thing. Just don't act like a jack. Word. So I mean, just be nice. Yeah, sir.
I think part of it's social media because everybody sees people, how they're acting towards the police, and it's all screw the police and all this kind of stuff, and they have these common techniques. I mean, when you try to handcuff, they just slowly, gently pull their hands away because, I'm not resisting, I'm not attacking anybody, and then they start, what did I do? What did I do? Then there's another one. Call your supervisor like that. And it never changes anything. I mean, you just, but they see all this stuff and it's like, okay, you're not going to win that day. If you're going to win, it's going to be in court.
Yeah.
Or between the ticket and court. But that stop, you're not winning.
I mean, I've had cases where clients were so rude to the cops where they didn't want to agree to non-adjudications on things. Because if you're mean to the cops, they do have a say in it with prosecutors later down the line. And you got to think about that too. Being rude to the cops is not going to help you ever. It never helps you. And here then now people are making note of it. It's in your article. So after all this stuff where this guy Gaddis was acting like an a-hole, one of the cops at the end of it said, "I'm going to F him up," right? Okay.
And he got disciplined for it.
And he did. Okay. And I get it. He's not supposed to say it, but let's be real here for a minute, Kingfish. These guys have to deal with people being a-holes to them all day, every day when they go to work. And sometimes they get frustrated.
Just say jerks.
Yeah, jerks. I'm sorry. Yeah, jerks. I'm just used to cussing all the time. On the radio, I have to watch myself.
That's the difference between podcasting and radio, dude. I mean,
right. I mean, so the cops have to deal with stuff that the rest of us do not have to deal with. And they have to deal with it every single day when they go to work. People acting like this over getting like, I can't believe I got pulled over. Well, you did because I can't see your tag. That's why. Like,
and that's happened to me. Like one time years ago, JPD pulled me over. I had the tag in my car.
Yeah,
I just hadn't been too lazy to put the damn thing on. I was over on State Street by Baptist, and when he walks up to my window, I already had. I said, you want me to go put it on there? He says, yeah. Because any real man has a couple of screwdrivers in his car, right?
Sure. No.
So I sat there, went back there, and
just put it on.
Case closed.
I mean,
have a nice day.
When I was a little kid, my dad, I remember one of the first lessons he taught me was like, okay, when you start driving, when the police pull you over, all you say is, "Yes, sir, I'm sorry." That's all you say. "Yes, sir, I'm sorry," or "Yes, ma'am." Now there's more female cops now. And that's it. It doesn't matter if the cop was wrong.
And don't try to fudge it. Say, yeah, I was doing 48.
Just
no, and I wasn't doing 40. I was only doing 38. And well, you've already admitted to speeding. You're better off just saying, yeah, I was speeding. I mean, you caught me. I was wrong.
And if you get over, and this is a little,
they'll let you out a lot of times.
That's another thing though too. This is for like, I've had this with DUI clients over the years.
How can we make this right?
if this is for the DUI people out there drinking and driving. When the cops pull you over, don't say you had 2 beers, because everybody says they had 2 beers. I cannot tell you the hundreds of reports I've read where the person gets pulled over said, "Oh, I only had 2 beers." The cops know you're going to say that. They already know you're going to say that, and then you've given them probable cause there too. So don't say that. I mean, don't say, because they're like, "Oh, only 2." I wish somebody would say I had 6. Like, I'm waiting for the report that I read. I have 1
when I go out, because somebody will always try. Because I've also written critically of cops before, so you just never know.
No, but I mean, if you're nice to them, if you comply, you're not gonna get shot. You're probably not gonna get arrested if it's just a traffic violation, and that's it. But this guy Gaddis, you can go to Kingfish's website, jacksonjambalaya.com,
and the video's on there, and it's entertaining.
It's really entertaining, and I don't know how anybody can take it away that this guy is a jerk, and that's it. I mean, honestly, I don't really care.
After the hearing, he was letting me have it, because the first time I wrote about the story several months ago, I misspelled his name. I was talking to the chief over the phone, and it sounded like Gattis to me, like Mr. Gaddis. Okay, 2 T's. Well, so my whole story, I call him Gaddis. It's Gaddis. Okay, I never got a police report, so never saw it, writing. And so I'm like, I told his father, I said, somebody just called me the day before, or if I know his attorney well. Yeah. If he just someone called me the next day and said, "Hey, you got the name wrong," I corrected it, and I did go back and correct it once I found out. But he just laid into me over that. I'm like, dude, calm down. Funny part is he did 3 tours of duty in Iraq. That. So he's an Army veteran.
And thank him for his service. I feel like he'd have known
but
better.
I think my personal opinion now, just my opinion, I think he's got some anger management issues that are related to that somehow. I mean, I just think because it seems like he just goes into overdrive immediately and just will not stop.
And I tell you what, if he had, the prosecutor in Ridgeland is Bodie McDonald, who was actually
he's a good one.
He's a great one. He was my college professor at Millsaps too. I've known him for years. And if you'd explain that to Bodie, I bet you he'd have cut you a break. He's that good of a guy. Like, listen, you're a war veteran.
I can see it.
Like, that is like, people take that under.
But his father was a cop who got in trouble too.
Oh, was he?
His father went to federal prison. The feds busted him. He was a JPD.
Oh God. So he got, I did want to say this real quick. He got convicted of possession of marijuana, and the other stuff was,
and he's appealing, by the way,
to county court.
He's appealing
because I think they're confused about the search warrant part. If the cops smell marijuana and they can search your car, it's called the automobile exception. You don't need a search warrant.
And they could have searched the car anyway, because once they arrested him, they were impounding the vehicle. They have to do an inventory search.
Yeah. I mean,
they said, y'all never did the inventory search, but they did search the car. So
there's an exception when it comes to the car.
You're not winning this one. You're going to lose. And